Hello viewers, welcome to Elim TV, a station where you watch, learn and interact. Your tutor today is Mr. Wanyoike, a mathematics teacher. In today's lesson, we're in Form 4, Lesson 25, and the topic is Statistic 2, and the subtopic is calculation of median, whose summation of frequency, total frequency, is equal to an odd number. On to the lesson objective. By the end of this lesson, you are supposed to calculate median of a given group data whose summation of frequency is equal to an odd number. On to the calculation of median, there are two very important formulas that you are supposed to understand. The first one is how to calculate the median term, and it is represented by the first formula, and n represent the total frequency or summation of frequency, and the second formula is the median. How do we calculate the median? Median is equals to this formula, where A represent the lower class limit of the median term, and small f represent the frequency of the median term, and CF represent the cumulative frequency above the median term, and lastly I represent the class interval. On to the first example, you are supposed to use this data below to calculate the mathematics median score. There is mathematics score represented here in percentage, and the class intervals ranges from the smallest 20 to 29, then we have 30 to 39, and the frequency is indicated below as 2, and 20 to 29 the frequency is 3, and 40 to 49 the frequency is 6, meaning that 6 students are scored between 40 to 49, then 50 to 59 4 students, 60 to 69 only 1 student, 70 to 79 only 2 students, and lastly 80 to 89 only 1 student. You are supposed to come up with a frequency distribution table, and in this case the first column represent the marks, where you write the classes 20 to 29, and you proceed up to the last one 80 to 89, and the frequency column you indicate the frequency as indicated in the previous table. And when it comes to calculation of the midpoint, you are supposed to take the first number here, the first number here 20, you add it to 29, you will get 49, then 49 you divide by 2, then you will end up getting 24.5. You repeat with the rest, and you fill this table, this column here up to the last row, whereby 80 plus 89, then you divide the resulting number by 2, you will end up getting 84.5. And finally you fill the last column, that is the cumulative frequency column, whereby you are supposed to start with the first frequency, which was given as 3, then you add it to 2, then you will end up getting 5, you add it to 6, you will get 11, and you proceed that way up to the last one, and the last number you will get it as 19, which is the total frequency. On to the calculation of median, we are going to use the first formula. You calculate the median term using the first formula. The total frequency, the n was 19, you add 1, you will end up getting 20, you divide by 2, you will end up getting 10, and 10th become the median term. And therefore you'll go back to the table, and where we have the column cumulative frequency, and you try to find 10, and the 10th term lies in between 11, and therefore you will move across that row up to where we have a class between 40 to 49, and the lower class limit in this case is 40. 40 you subtract 0.5, because the difference between the diagonal is 1, and that diagonal, the difference, you divide by 2, you get 0.5, then you subtract 0.5 from 40, and you will end up getting the value of L as 39.5. You can see it is well written here. Then you take the 10th term here, which is already calculated for you here, you insert it here, then you subtract CF Once again, we are going to go back to the table, and the cumulative frequency above the median term. Remember, the median term was across this row, and therefore you are supposed to use the cumulative frequency above the median term, which is represented by digit 5 there. And therefore you go back to the formula once more, and at the formula you will insert that 5 there, then you divide by 6, and you go back to the table, cumulative distribution, frequency distribution table, and the frequency of 10th term, which is inside 11, becomes 6. The frequency is 6, and therefore you divide that by 6, and finally you multiply by the class interval, which is supposed to be 10. And therefore, after you calculate the value here, 5, you divide by 6, you multiply by 10, you will get 8.33. Then finally you take that value, you add it to 39, as you can see, and the median becomes 47.83. And we have come to the end of today's lesson, and I cannot wind up the lesson without giving you an assignment. You're supposed to use this data here, which is provided for you here, to calculate for the median, and onto the reference, you can refer from the Kelby Secondary Mathematics Student book for 4th edition, Nairobi, and the publisher is the Kenya Literature Bureau. For more information, you can reach us through the SMS using that number, YouTube at LMTV, Facebook platform at LMTV, and finally you can use the Twitter at LMTV_KE. Thank you for watching us. Please keep tuned.